Hi, I'm Dan Costa here with Max Eddy, and we are presenting a PCMag review of Blackhat.
But it's not really a review, is it, Dan?
It is not really a review because, of course, we are not qualified to review movies here. We are qualified to review technology. This movie is about technology, and we're going to talk about the technology, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's actually all three in this movie.
There's not a lot of ugly because Chris Hemsworth's in it, and his shirt just flies off mysteriously several times throughout the film.
We're not pitching the movie, but he does hack with his shirt off, which I guess is the way it's done. He certainly made it look like that was the way it was
Absolutely.
done. But there's some good technology details in here. You were impressed by some of the technology treatment.
Well, yeah, I think the technology is sort of there. Like in the very beginning, you see a sort of Stuxnet type attack where a digital piece of software is used to affect a physical piece of machinery. In this case, it's a nuclear power plant as opposed to a nuclear enrichment center. They do a USB hack where someone convinces another person to plug in a USB device and they take control of that
Which
computer.
is good, because that's something that seems like it would be far-fetched, but that's exactly how malware gets loaded onto corporate systems, onto government systems. It's a very common vector.
There's also phishing in the film, which is something you don't see a lot because opening an email is boring, but they did manage to do it. He was going in with that mouse real slow to click that attachment, and the audience is,
He clicked on the attachment. The thing that was a little unbelievable is that he was a senior executive director at the NSA.
I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
I mean, and it said this is a folder, a PDF of password recommendations. Presumably, he knows how to make a good password without reading the PDF.
We would like to make a pitch to all the NSA agents in the audience. Please do not open attachments. So all that stuff was pretty solid. The NSA was a bit problematic because they are introduced into the film to present a piece of magical technology that can open this hard drive that they pulled out of an irradiated
And again, this isn't a
raid.
review. We're just talking about technology, so we don't care about spoilers. It's called the Black Widow. The
called Black
NSA
Widow.
has developed a technology called Black Widow, which they only have access to. They lend out to the FBI, and there's a point in the film where they need to, rescue information from an irradiated hard drive. That happens. So the NSA basically does disk savers, and rescues information from this hard drive. It's not even a key plot point, but it's very mysterious technology.
See, and that's where we get into the problems with it. The technology works, but the scenarios really don't. They do a USB key attack onto like an information desk at the front of a bank, which getting a hold of that computer, they're able to directly jump into the account controls of that bank.
Which would never happen. We don't let our front desk security access our bank account information.
We don't have a front desk for security reasons, Dan.
Not realistic. Also not realistic, with some other mistakes. They pointed at a URL address and said it was an IP address, which it was not.
I must have missed that one.
I was taking notes.
The NSA agent answers his cell phone in what appears to be a secured environment. I'm sure there are places...
Personal cell phone.
Yeah, I'm sure there are places in the government, well, it was also an iPhone too, like you're never going to see that. So I'm sure people do this kind of stuff, but maybe not at the NSA. I would hope not. So there were problems like that.
Yep. Most unbelievable point in the entire movie, pointed out by James Plafke, Geek.com. He caught it right away. The USB attack. He gets the USB drive in there on the first try.
It was also a 64 gigabyte USB, which why would you ever even have that? Do they not have cloud storage in China? I was so baffled by that entire concept.
So you actually had a legitimate criticism of the way the hackers, both White Hat and Black Hat, are portrayed in this film. And they did it for dramatic purposes, but you say there's like a serious misrepresentation that happens here.
Yeah, so when we talk to security people, they tell us about criminal organizations. It's not just one big bad guy. And this film features one big bad guy, and he's not doing it for the money, he's doing it for the glory, because according to Chris Hemsworth, security analyst, money is your virtual scoreboard or something like that. Like, no, people do this to make money, but it's also a lot of people making small amounts of money over many, many people. There's no big hits. There's no single individual that's making all the cash from it. It's like offices full of drones who are pumping malware onto Android phones.
Yeah, I was really hoping it would be a little grittier, a little bit more corporate, a little bit more, and not just the guy who's making crazy things happen over the internet and breaking stuff.
And he has no name, literally no name. He has no identity. He's just this nameless, singular bad man.
This isn't about money.
And that part really bugged me because that's very Hollywood. And so is all the gunfights. Like, I've talked to a lot of security guys. I don't think shots get fired very often in the office.
No, there were a lot of gunfights. There was a lot of very long chases, but we're straying into movie review territory. We want to avoid that. And then ultimately, the disappointing thing is that despite all the hacking, presumed hacking, things get resolved with duct tape and a shiv, which is not technical at all.
He got shivved real bad.
So we're not going to give it a rating. We're not going to tell you whether you should go and see this movie or not.
You should not see this movie.
Okay, we are going to tell you not to see this movie.
I'll tell you.
The technology itself, a little disappointing. I'm a little disappointed in Michael Mann. But Chris Hemsworth, fantastic.
I think there might be some hope here, though. You know, people are going to be introduced to these trends. Maybe people are going to realize that, oh yeah, you know, these are actual threats. I saw that in a movie. Maybe they'll understand it a little bit more.
If you like the movie, if you dislike the movie, let us know in the comments section. That's us. That's our version of a movie review here at PCMag. Thanks for joining us.
So long.